have scaled that back, but not tonight because we have the Simple Joy Band here packing the studio with all sorts of good stuff, and they're going to jump in and entertain us for the next hour. And so, folks, whatever you'd like to play, we'd love to hear.
We used to get out of school at 1 o'clock if the temperature got too damn hot. So we'd spend each morning rooting for the temp to top 95. My boys and I, we could run, so we'd make a beeline for the sun. Take a bunch of Coors Light and head down above the dam. There was girls and there was swimming, a big rope swing on the other side. You could get big air into the river if you could make it over there alive. But those were the days. It wasn't always wine and roses, more often Mad Dog and no doses. But those were the days. Sneaking a cooler down by the dock and just enjoying our bodies and our haze. It was a half mile across the river, even if it didn't look that far. And it was slightly upstream all the way when you were trying to get back to your car after a long afternoon of drinking and lying in that sun. We all felt pretty invincible, but it was easier said than done. 'Cause those were the days. It wasn't always wine and roses, more often Mad Dog and no doses. But those were the days. Sneaking a cooler down by the dock and just enjoying our bodies and our haze. Last time I made that river swim, I brought my little brother so I could show him this is how we do it when they let us out of school. I dared him to race back across with me, but I was near a man and he was 13. I'd give back every day since then to put me back at lunch that day. 'Cause those were the days. It wasn't always wine and roses, more often Mad Dog and no doses. But those were the days. Sneaking a cooler down by the dock and just enjoying our bodies and our haze.
Simple Joy Band kicking us off in style and getting us to sing along here in the studio. What a
Bob,
fantastic way to start.
Great to have a full band here in the studio again. Wow, it's
sounds
been too
great.
long. And Kim, welcome from your tour. She's been touring the building. What's it like out there?
Good.
Well,
Ceiling tiles look good.
Everybody, we have a wonderful next hour for you out here with the Simple Joy Band and Tuck Satterfield. If you would be so kind as to introduce your friends.
Yeah, thanks for having us here. This is Michael Lowry.
Hey, folks.
Michael.
Got Stephen Munoz.
Hi.
And Pam McCarthy on drums, and on that one, drums and ukulele. Very rare
We've
combo.
in 7 years we've never had that combo.
All right.
Yeah.
Pam, have you played with Misty Mayhem before?
I have. I do.
That's where I know you from.
We got a show tonight.
I do have a show.
Congratulations.
Well, Misty told us this was going to be a big old time tonight, and she weren't lying.
She weren't lying.
Misty don't lie. And so we do want to get as much music in as we can over the next hour. So what do you have for us next?
This one's called Avalon.
You ready? 2, 3, 4. Walking on the beach, mid-August night, phosphorescence was the only light. Avalon took my hand and she showed me the way. She said our love has barely started, but the summer's almost gone. Wanna feel my life's for living while my body is still young. Take me back to school and I fear I lose my way. Oh, Avalon, oh, Avalon. My mind's made up, but my ideas are all gone. Avalon, won't you run away with me? Around the corner by the lighthouse where the cutters used to smoke, had to beg, borrow, bleed, and steal for one forgotten toke. Avalon whispered her ideas for how we'd get away. I'd learned to hardwire a car when I was just 13 years old. Used to take them down to Myrtle Beach where we knew they could get sold. I had that baby flying in a minute. Man, we were away. Oh, Avalon, oh, Avalon. My mind's made up, but my ideas are all gone. Avalon, won't you run away with me? It's like the midnight tide. Can't always see nothing, but it'll take you for a ride. And love is like the way you never see coming. Well, the sheriff pulled me over, took me down to spend the night. Avalon was waving me the sodium vapor light. I knew I'd never see her again as she blew a kiss turned away. She said our love is like forever, but forever never stays. I want to pack a lot, living into a small number of days. I'm gonna take this ride to Memphis with a man. Show me the way. Oh, Avalon, Avalon. My mind's messed up 'cause my honey's all gone. Avalon, why'd you run away from me? Oh, Avalon, oh, Avalon. My money's made up and my mind's all wrong. Avalon, why'd you run away from me? Oh, Avalon, don't you run away. Avalon, don't you run away. Avalon, don't you run away from me. Oh, Avalon, don't you run away. Avalon, don't you run away. Avalon, don't you run away from me, from me.
Yes, sir. More of the Simple
All
Joy
right.
Band.
Michael Lowry, I knew I liked you when I saw you pick up a good old guitar, man.
All right, yeah, good all. Yeah.
Well, he just
So-
threw it back down, though.
You don't throw a good old guitar down. You.
Did not throw it.
So, Michael, tell us about that song. Who wrote that song?
Tuck wrote that song, yeah, and we all love it. Yeah.
And so, Tuck, are you writing most of the songs of the group, or is you all contribute, or how's that work?
Yeah, I write all the ones that we do. Michael's a great songwriter. Pam's a great songwriter. Steven's got a whole album with amazing songs.
I see the look in their eyes that there's a coup in the works, probably. But don't worry about that.
But yeah, it's the ones that hopefully we'll diversify. But yeah, all of these I wrote, at least the beginning part, and then we created them together. So.
And then are these songs that you've been writing over the last 20 years or the last 2 years, or tell us?
I think 6 or 7 years. So I joined my first band with Michael. It was a cover band. We only did covers of North Carolina music. So that started about 7
Good
years
stuff to
ago.
cover.
Yeah, very rich set of songs. And then we started to write some of our own, and that was really hard to do. So we ended up not doing much of that, and that's what this project started as, was a way to do those.
And how
originals.
long has this ensemble been together?
Almost 4 years. So
Well,
we got,
it shows. I mean,
Thank you.
because you're definitely in the pocket, as they say, all of you, and synced up and blending beautifully.
Thank you.
And Emily had told us you'd been in the Blue Moose Studios, her place,
Yeah,
recording, and was that recently?
Yeah, we've recorded. We're about to come out with an album, all of which was recorded at Emily's studio, except for one song that we just did. But yeah, I think we recorded 15 songs.
Phew.
We
Nice.
started right before the pandemic hit, so we got in there January 2020, and recorded a few songs with her, including Avalon, which she sings beautiful background harmony vocals on the recording that's out there.
She
You can
does
check that
does
out.
not just shred guitar. She's got a fantastic
She
voice.
can sing. Oh man!
So
and
what?
shred guitar.
What stage is this record? Is it mixed? Is
We
it
just-
mastered? Or
We just this week finished mixing it with James Phillips of Bombadil in Durham, and so yeah, hopefully it'll be out in the next couple of months. Got a few things to still do with it, but
one more question, and then on to the music. Is the plan to phase these out one track at a time digitally, or have a CD, or what?
we have done that over the last couple of years. Put one out every few months, and so
Yeah.
I think we've got 6 or 7 singles out, including one that we put out last month that we'll play tonight, which is
Excellent.
called Hydrogeologist, which actually talks about the Eno River.
That's a mouthful.
But
I
we
want
like
to
that you
hear
know River.
what rhymes with that.
Gynecologist.
You'll find out.
Ew!
Kirk.
Well, it does. She asked a question.
I can't unsee that.
So we have a few singles out that we've put out over time, and then the album will be, I think, a physical CD, and we'll put that out digitally as well.
Well, good. What do you have for us next?
This one is called Circus in Your Head, and the fun thing about this is it's different every single time we play it.
All right.
And I think it's going to feature Steven on melodica. You guys started out.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, my mother woke us early, had to jerk us out of bed. I could hear your evil dreaming. There's a circus in your head. Oh, my father had his belt off, took us out behind the shed. There's no other explanation. There's a circus in your head. I was sad and I was lonesome. I was always confused. I was feeling new and different types of deep down blues. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love in deeply wrong faces. Called my doctor, said your mind is broke. Got to get you on some meds. There's no other way to fix you. Get that circus out your head. Here's a bottle. Reach your hand in, get some blues and grab some reds. But the green ones kick the most back. Love that circus in your head.
You don't need no stinking accordion in this band. Unless you can get Crystal Bright, then
We will
might
take that accordion.
want to reconsider.
That's the exception.
Well, that was fun.
And by the way, the live stream says coming in loud and clear at Rossfield Farms. And Maddie Sheets and the Couldn't Be Happier say, howdy, you guys are sounding great.
Yeah, awesome.
Fantastic. Rossfield Farms, that's my folks. So hi, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, they got
Hey,
it.
Mom and Dad.
Cool.
By the way, Tuck, you mentioned the first band was all cover band covering songs from North Carolina, and then you mentioned that writing songs was difficult. But you're writing songs now. What was
The
how
difficult
did that
part-
change?
I found that, that was late in life coming to songwriting, so maybe mid-40s, and I found out I loved it. The hard part was it's hard to practice and learn new songs because there's nothing to follow. So it's a whole different thing than
Yeah, you're
picking
making it up out of whole cloth.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, and all the parts. Like you play an Avett Brothers songs, they're tough, but the drummer can go learn the drum parts instead of now. Pam makes all of these parts up, and Steven makes up all the solos, and Michael Pitt makes up all the bass lines.
So the
It's hard
difficult
work.
part wasn't necessarily telling a story, writing the lyrics. It was how the whole thing comes together for a band to be able to play.
Right, and convincing everybody to do that work. to work
Crack
on
that whip,
new
man.
stuff. Yeah.
That sounded like the statement from a benevolent dictator, as they say.
I was thinking the same thing.
Which I always understood. I don't know what.
That's a corporate manager talking.
Yeah.
It's a different mission. Everybody signed up to do covers of that band, and it's also, I mean, we got to cherry pick the very best songs, and so
A lot to be said for that.
yeah.
Well, Tuck, with these originals, so you're there alone, you write them, you sort of rough them out, you're feeling pretty good about them, and you'd alluded to this earlier, you bring them to the band, and then what sort of interaction happens at that point?
Well, generally, I bring it in super nervous, because I'm really writing for them first, and so I'll bring it in, I'll play it, and generally about halfway through, everybody starts playing along, and
So really fun to see new things come into your music, though.
oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
All
know
of a
that
sudden,
feeling.
instead of me plinky playing along, it's got this full thing, and then I just write solo on the page, and then Steven turns it into gold, or Michael turns it into gold.
So you let them run or encourage them to run with whatever their skill is.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So you
They're
don't feel hurt when they play something that was not what you were hearing in your head.
Not at all. No, I mean, the really fun thing, I think, is we like to play together, and we listen well to each other, and that's the most fun, is seeing it come alive way more better than anything.
It just sounds like great teamwork.
I think it is.
Indeed.
Well, it's, as we said earlier, we're here to have a lot of music, only a little bit of talk, so whatever you'd like to play next, we'd love to hear.
All right. Shall we do If I Could? This is for my kids. If I could, I would give you the world with the space and time to travel. If I could, I would give you the Lord with her mysterious love unraveled. Go forward, my boy and my girl. Make your own bright way in this dingy old world. Go forward, my girl and my boy. Don't settle for anyone else's idea of joy. It's not the time nor the place that I choose for my son, nor my daughter to belong to. Hear the words that I pray for my little one, for the strength to smite who has wronged you. Go forward, my boy and my girl. Make your own bright way in this dingy old world. Go forward, my girl and my boy. Don't settle for anyone else's idea of joy. You can forgive and forget. You can learn to get by. You can turn a cheek to all this world is giving. That's what I've always done, and that's my little life. It's called dying by degrees while you're living. Go forward, my boy and my girl. Make your own bright way in this dingy old world. Go forward, my girl and my boy. Don't settle for anyone else's idea of joy. If I could, I would give you the world, with the space and time to travel. If I could, I would give you the Lord, with her mysterious love unravel.
You started clapping before the bass.
I'm bad like that. I had 2 cups of coffee today, and I just don't know where I am anymore.
What is when you all play out your gigs, if you tour locally, if you tour regionally, what is the best Simple Joys show like? Like, what's your audience like? What's the connection between you and the audience? What's that like?
People dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joyfulness.
Yeah, particularly since Steven wasn't going to be here with us tonight because he normally does his Lojo at Boxyard every other Friday.
Oh, fun.
Boxyard is a fantastic place, by
It
the
is.
way.
And
Yeah.
we're playing there next week as a band, the week after.
During the week or on the weekend?
On Friday, next Friday.
Speaking of playing live, Kim.
So, yeah, so we're
Think
playing
I-
at
I
Boxyard
don't
as
dance,
a
but I
full
might.
band Friday 5:30 on the 10th and again on the 24th. And in the intervening weeks, every other week, Steven's incredible open mic jam is there every other Friday now.
Awesome.
I did not know that.
And yeah, it's incredible.
And lucky for us, it was canceled tonight, so
Yeah.
he's here.
Canceled for,
Yes.
for coldness.
How far do you tour? Because I know that you're a guy with a day job, and that's a hard thing to balance. If it were just you, maybe you could go a little further. But if all of you are negotiating kind of day life and band life, how far are you able to reach out as far as a band?
The farthest we've been, we went and played at my my parents' 80th birthday party in Virginia.
Oh, that
was-
sounds like
so
fun.
That's by far the furthest. We also went with Couldn't Be Happier. Shout out.
Woohoo. Aren't they
merch,
fun? We
at
love
the
them.
Ramcat.
Oh, that's a
in
good
Winston-Salem.
venue.
Oh, that was super.
Oh, it sounds like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
great show right there.
Super
yeah,
fun.
that was great. But Pam plays a lot with Misty, and Steven does a lot of solo stuff. So it's also they're very busy and in demand. So we play when we can, and mostly locally.
Everybody, we have reached the top of the hour, and we are encumbered by the forces that be to say this is WHUP LP Hillsboro. And Bob, we are fortunate indeed to have a second hour sponsor.
Yes, we are. Support for this second hour of Pass the Hat is sweetly provided by Matthew's Chocolates, 104 North Churton Street, Hillsboro, North Carolina, the finest in chocolate and chocolate accessories for all of your chocolate needs. And let's face it, you have chocolate needs. Every band that comes and joins us here on Pass the Hat gets a gift of chocolate from Matthew at Matthew's Chocolates. Tuck has in his hand the box of chocolate that I don't know if he's sharing with the rest of the band or not. We leave that to you to work out.
And anybody out there, if you own a bourbon company, we will add a third hour of the show. And if you would want to be our sponsor, right, Bob?
Email us at whuppassthehat@gmail. We will gladly engage you with our marketing team.
So Pam McCarthy, and you got a vocal mic there, and you've been playing percussion like forever?
No, well, it seems like it now. I started playing percussion sort of senior year of high school I played flute previously to that.
Okay.
And then in college, I played with a percussion ensemble, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was learning from all them because I wasn't trained like in percussion rudiments and all the drum things. Sort of had to cherry pick it as I went along. And then I got some lessons along the way. And kind of started building up my kit over about the last decade. So
It's our favorite kind of kit for up here on the steep steps. We'll
It's
tell you.
appropriate for the studio.
And you still have a flute and play it every once in a while?
sure, I do have it. I'm terribly out of shape for playing it. So
Yeah, but this group would love a little flute every once
we
in a while.
we could.
I also, because you talked about it on your show last week with Emily, the first time I ever saw Emily or Pam play was with Darkwater Rising.
Yeah.
So
Ah,
Pam
yes.
used to play with Charlie and them. They were phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Keep
Lots
saying
of fun.
Charlie and them. Shout out to Charlie and them.
Yeah.
They'll get that.
So I'm curious, were you a flutist or a flautist?
Sure.
Good
she
answer.
she flouted her flute playing.
Yes.
I was just trying to stir up some controversy, and you're not helping.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. It's probably time for more of your fine music.
Amen.
Fantastic.
And I
yeah.
like the bluegrass band. They just trade their instruments around, and different people play things.
Put this back.
This one is our latest single that we just put out, and it's about a hydrogeologist. And I wrote this when we first were starting to write songs, and we were working with this guy, Anthony Peterson, is fantastic songwriter and guitarist. And I thought it was a serious thing that we were all supposed to write a song about the other person's professions. So I went home and did my homework and wrote a song about hydrogeologist because Michael is a hydrogeologist. And I brought the song into our class, and he told me he was going to quit being a hydrogeologist and become a hospice nurse, which he is now. So we've got this song that doesn't even make any sense anymore, but it was written for my friend Michael. And
it was a songwriting class, and we were just joking at the end of the class, talking about what we do for a living. And Anthony said, "Yeah, you should write a song about that," and Tuck took it to heart. And it's
job,
a great
Tuck.
song.
Right.
well, we all have a friend that deep down just wants to study aquifers and creeks, find out more about pH balance, and stopping runoff from garden hose leaks. But before you let that friend run off and become a full-fledged card-carrying or lab coat-wearing, Bunsen burner using, periodic table looking at scientist, let me tell you a thing or two about the hydrogeologist. 2, 3, 4. Tramping through streams, testing the waters, making life better for beavers and otters, siphoning samples in beakers of glass, reminding rule breakers not to water their grass. He's frequently high and lazily droll, knows his aqueous rock from his granular shoal. He can tell the difference between ground fog and mist. He's a hydrogeologist. He's walking around the Eno or some similar agua, wearing a floppy sun hat, probably got in Nicaragua. Can tell you the dangers of using bad detergent, explain why you can't pee in a stream, though it be urgent. He's frequently high and lazily droll, knows his aqueous rock from his granular show. He can tell you stories about the groundhogs he's kissed. He's a hydrogeologist. Take it, Michael. Findings are mostly logical. His geology purely hydrological. His purpose is noble, his methods are green. He cares only about keeping our H2O clean. He's a hero of science with a practical gist. He's a hydrogeologist. He's a hydrogeologist. Michael used to be a hydrogeologist.
Whew. Another one you had folks in the studio singing along with.
Now he's a gynecologist.
I like that his decisions were mostly logical. Not
See,
entirely.
I do things like that at school. I sing words like that to middle school students, and now I got to do it for fun.
Yeah.
But
You
know
need to
you're
bring
Mon-
that to middle school. That's all.
Monday in school, you're not going to be walking down the hallways. Hydrogeologist.
I super am. Yeah.
Michael, you want to swing the mic around in Steve's direction real quick? And
We're going to let Steve talk?
yeah, we are, man, because Steve's a bit of a legend. I've seen you playing all over Durham and other places, and always admired your playing. Was guitar your first instrument?
Piano was my first instrument.
Yeah,
actually.
we've heard that before up here. You were forced to play piano as a
Actually-
8-year-old?
Actually, no. I'm the youngest of 6, and all my siblings were forced to take music lessons by my mother, and I was the youngest, and she said whatever.
We're
I've
done.
been inundated by all this music, and then I just sat at a piano and then started mimicking what my brothers and sisters
Yeah,
did.
awesome. And
probably
then,
the
so
best
when
way to
did
learn.
Yeah.
when did guitar enter your life?
Guitar entered when I was about like 11 or 12, and my uncle, he taught me piano on Unchained Melody was the first song I learned. And once he decided that I kind of figured out those chords, he said, "You want to learn some John Denver songs?" And then that started it.
Wait, and
Nice.
you said yes?
I said yes. I trusted my uncle 100%.
Well, you're an excellent player, and I've admired you before, as I've seen you out in different venues. And that's some sort of Telecaster you're playing, the electric? What is that?
It is. I found it actually on top of a garbage can in Durham.
What?
That's the best thing of Durham's like that.
And I was like, what? And I have many, many guitars, but for some reason this guitar found its home in this band, and I retrofitted it and souped it up, but it was a throwaway, and it just lives in this band now.
Well, it sounds great. Really
Yeah, it
does.
does. Why are you looking at me like it's time for me to talk?
Anytime I raise my right eyebrow, it's time for you to talk.
Well, you know what I'm going
Noted.
to say is
Yes.
I am totally digging this music, and I really want you guys to play some more.
All right. Let's go to. I would come in. Okay. No.
Before the justice of the peace, I said I love you. You said that ain't enough to get my I do. I spent $40 on this here hairdo, and I'm not even really sure that I like you. But I would come running, and I would come willing, and I would come grinning back to you. On the morning of that first day down in Cabo, when I got sick of Cameron's El Diablo, you took a liking to that boy Del Cabana and ended up by peeling his banana. But I would come running, and I would come willing, and I would come grinning back to you. My friends all told me things I probably already knew. But even they were shocked we didn't make it through our honeymoon. All your love for me could fit into a tablespoon. But like that dog, I'd still jump over the moon for you. Scattered, lost the only battle that really mattered. My heart is bloodied, it's torn apart and tattered, like all those China wedding plates you shattered. But I would come running, I would come running, and I would come grinning back to you. Well, I would come running, I would come winning. I still think I'm winning without
you. That was very fast.
That was very fantastic.
This is why you don't let the
The band is dancing.
That was fun.
We hate it when people have fun in the studio. We wish you would calm down just a little bit. By the way, Christina Ward says she's so glad she finally gets to see you live. And hi, Pam.
Hi, Christina.
And somebody else you made cry. When you sang the song for your kids.
I was like, I hope it was tears for joy.
And we're almost 40, 45 minutes or so into this, and I'm not sure if you've told us how we can stalk you online, how we can buy your music, because people should be buying music, and where you're playing next.
Yeah, so you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. I think both under the Simple Joy Band is our handle, and also on Spotify and all the other places you can stream. So our first 6 or 8 singles are up there. Come see us at Boxyard next week and the week after. Come see us at Beer and Banjos
In Durham?
in Carborough.
Carborough Beer and Banjos.
Beer and Banjos out on 401 Main on the 15th of March. Come and see us when we play out at Old Mill Farm, which we do. Stephen does solo. We play
That
out
is
there.
a great venue.
That's a great spot. And then we're playing Growler Girls for the first time in April 14th as well. So,
All right.
yeah, that's the best way to support us is go listen to our stuff and come see us.
And buy all the merch.
Buy all the merch, yeah. We don't have any.
We got to get some more. We'll get some merch for you to buy.
Everybody, as always, tonight's show is being recorded. The audio is by our wonderful IT staff here at WHUP, WHUPFM.org. Hit shows. Scroll down, you'll hear our 7 years of shows from the best of local music.
Time flies.
And in addition to that, we are multimedia. And Bob, tell people where, as they send around to their friends and tell them how wonderful tonight's entertainment was, where they can go and access tonight's video.
You can find the live stream, which by then will be a dead stream? I don't know. Not a live stream, but all of your favorite streaming services, and your favorite streaming services are Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Facebook and YouTube keeps the videos forever. Just click on the either the live tab or the video tab, and you'll see piles and piles, and the most recent one is always the one right on top. So this one will be right on top for the next week or so.
Again, the address?
At WHUP Pass the Hat, at WHUP Pass the Hat on all of those streaming services. And then Twitch, of course, only keeps it for 2 weeks because it's really more of a gaming platform. But Facebook and YouTube keep them forever, so you can always go in and find them there and share it with your friends.
But you don't need to do any of that junk because we got about 15 more minutes of wonderful music, if you'd be so kind.
All right, we're going to do a song called Sunkissed. This is going to bring it down a little bit, but it's ultimately a happy song. This is for my wife, Anna. know about you, but that first kiss cut me in two. It made me feel like my whole life I'd missed what people say when they talk about love's great power, like the sun reaching down 93 million miles to open a flower. To open a flower. I was brittle and burned, a lonely husk, cold in the dark. Light and warmth had turned to punishing flame, so I was frightened of any spark. You lean into me, my body makes new spaces like a once dying tree, bends to the light to find the sun in new places. In new places. Move into the light when your arms are around me, but it's never too bright when you hold me for me to see you. Don't know about you, but every kiss makes me feel new, like there's something worth following, like bliss in 1 billion years. Will the sun have shone as bright as you do? You've taken my tears and made them beautiful prisms through morning dew. Oh, beautiful, like sunrise through the morning dew. The morning dew.
Pretty song.
Yes, sir.
Best thing about that song is it had a bass solo.
Thank you for noticing.
Michael Lowry, we've gone around the group and heard a little bit about their musical history. What about you? Has bass been, was that where you started?
No, actually, I started bass for this band. And actually, I actually wanted to play bass as my first guitar instrument in high school, I went to take lessons and said, "Hey, I want to learn to play bass."
But they brought out that big, huge
said,
stand-up
you
thing.
need to play guitar first instead
Really?
of bass. Yeah, so I started with guitar instead. But I just kind of listen, and I hear the bass a lot, so I always wanted to play, and this was an opportunity. So
Nice.
So I love it.
Well, we've really been enjoying this time together, everybody. We do want you to get out to the Simple Joy Band on Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify, and all those great places. Look for the release of these new records. And Tuck, are you, in the midst of all this excitement, are you managing to write any new material?
For sure, yeah. Haze is pretty new. We've got a few other songs that we've only practiced a couple of times, and we might bust out a couple that no one's ever heard of at Boxyard, depending on how much time we get to practice between now and then.
So everybody catch the wave, because this thing is going somewhere.
And when you go out to your next gigs, by the way, people are demanding new Simple Joy T-shirts.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. We do have a few. We do have a few left, so we'll bring those to our next show.
So you don't even have to hire a graphic designer. You've got it ready to go.
That's right. We had a great graphic designer, Aaron, made our logos, and that's what the shirt is the
Sweet.
logo. We've got
Whoops.
one of a kind. That's our merch.
Ooh, that's
right
a nice
there.
one.
Cool.
It's the only
Like
one
that.
in existence. I put it up on Redbubble and bought it.
I like it.
You didn't even start a bidding war?
Well, we're ready to hear more.
All right. Nobody's fault. So a little quick story about this. My wife and I were coming back from a trip, and it was the day after the clocks had changed for daylight savings, and there was a woman berating the poor person at the flight desk, and it was clearly this person's fault that they had missed their flight. And they said at one point, magnanimously, let's just say it's nobody's fault. All right, so that became a kind of a watchword whenever one of us is just being a total. Let's just say it's nobody's fault. So that's what this song is about, a very bad relationship. Not mine, thankfully. Started with the summer of infatuation. Both of us bowled over by the total elation. Cupid shot his arrow and it found its station, but we ended in tears and recrimination. You were jealous and I was needy. Should have built a foundation, but we were greedy. We had more booby traps than the Versailles Treaty. So when the end came, it was bloody and speedy. Let's just say it was nobody's fault. Hot and messy as summer asphalt. Try to sow each other's fields with salt, but let's just say it was nobody's fault. We weaponize one another's pleasure, control not joy as love's true measure, hiding from each other the maps to our treasure, tallying up the score like an accountant's ledger. Let's just say it was nobody's fault. Hot and messy as summer asphalt. Try to sow each other's fields with salt, but let's just say it was nobody's fault. We were young and we were stupid, took something sweet and made it putrid. How do you pervert sweet little Cupid by acting the kind of assholes that me and you did? said, come over, I said, try to make me. You reach your hand out and you try to wake me. You do your damnedest, but you'll never slake me. You say that you love me, but you mostly just hate me. Let's just say it was nobody's fault.
Hot and messy as summer asphalt. Try to sow each other's fields with salt, but let's just say it was nobody's fault. Let's just say it was nobody's fault. Let's just say it was nobody's fault.
Yes, sir. My favorite is mistakes were made. Well, not by me, but mistakes were made.
Well, Tuck Satterfield, Michael Lowry, Steve Munoz, Pam McCarthy, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody remember this band name, The Simple Joy Band. Awesome. Awesome night.
And we got time for one more if you want to play one more.
Sweet. Clarksville? All right. This is going out to my dad and my grandpa. Some call it Car Lake, some call it Bugs Island. Good place for you to go when you are wildin', marking time, milking time, waiting for your bucket of lime in Clarksville, in Clarksville. When you've got beers and you've got time to kill. My daddy took me fishing there, and my grandpa'd come too. We'd open Granny's ham biscuits, and every argument that they'd ever been through, how my grandpa's too hard and my dad was too soft, how he'd run up to the city, taking everything that he had been taught in Clarksville, in Clarksville. When you've got beers and you've got time to kill. On the way out of town, my dad would always tell me, had to get out of this place, or it would have killed me. Don't mean I don't love my mom, and even my daddy too. I just wanted something better, from bigger for me and for you than Clarksville, than Clarksville. When you've got beers and you've got time to kill. When my grandpa went and died, you never seen such a sad face as my daddy went and tried to eulogize a soul and a place. The preacher spit in fire, sulfur, brimstone, hell, and hate. My daddy talked of a love that won't tire, and said a prayer to have just one more day, where he'd take his daddy fishing, and his kid would come too. They'd open mama's ham biscuits, and arms and hearts to show our love was true. In Clarksville, in Clarksville. When you've got years and you've got a mind too. In Clarksville.
Nobody's breaking the guitar. No, okay, just making sure. Y'all, the Simple Joy Band. We now come to the end of our live segment. Y'all wave goodbye to the live stream.
Thank you so much, y'all.
Y'all who are on the live stream.